hang on to your hats because February is going to be rough. Hello, this is Carrie O'Donnell from Tarot Soul Writer, and if you would like a personal reading with me, please go to my website, tarotsoulwriter.com, and set up a personal reading with me. And I'm still taking interviews for the 2020 project. Good news is, I think I have a new, more powerful router. I think things are going well as far as my internet situation, and I actually am going to try a live video sometime the beginning of January. So stay tuned for that. I will make an announcement of it. It will be a grand experiment, but hopefully you'll be able to interact with me and ask me questions. In the meantime, as you can see from my opening pictures, for those of us on the East Coast, I hope you're all hanging in there. Right now, I am trapped in my house. Trees have come down on the private road that I need to access the public road to get out of my house, took down all our wires, and our electricity went out. It was funny because I woke up early and I started a soul writing session, and I was just about to get into doing my February reading because I had planned to do this video, and that's when the power went off about 7:30 in the morning. I told my husband, okay, power's out. I knew it was a big storm. I wasn't thinking the trees were down. I just thought it was a power outage. I said, I'm going to do this reading first, and then I'll figure out the generator because we have never got that up and going. It's just been a month that we've been here, and we didn't think we had to deal with this so soon. And came out, and my husband looked at me, and he said, Carrie, where? Yeah. So he told me about the trees and that we are trapped. We can't drive out. And then we weren't sure how the trees worked with the private byway. If we were responsible to get to the trees or clear the trees ourselves before the wires could be fixed. And then I'm thinking, how do we do that with live wires? So long story short, we got the generator working, and I learned a lot about my home and what will be powered by the generator and what won't be. Things that pretty much all the good essentials are powered. I had to rig up my internet to another outlet. Then I got the internet going, so therefore I could make a phone call, and I called Eversource, and they were very nice. And they did say, yes, if the trees are on the wires, we will clear the trees. So thank goodness they know that we're trapped. It was one of those things, if there's an emergency, call 911. But actually, we're in very good shape. We had just gone grocery shopping. We had food in the freezer. But the generator is keeping everything going, including our oil heat. We do have solar panels, but until the sun comes out, as we sell our solar to Eversource, I don't think we're going to get that, but the generator is going well, and we could last here a good week. So fingers crossed, prayers for me that this is all cleared by Christmas, because my children are coming to visit, and it'd be nice to actually leave my home. So fingers crossed. And if for those of you who are in worse situations with power outages, you might be seeing this video after the fact. My prayers are with you as well. Hang in there. This is quite a storm, but we will weather through it. Now, to my February 2024 reading. I'm going to start with a general sense here, I'm going to just like read what I wrote, and then I will take a time out and tell you about sort of the side feelings that I had as I was writing things down. My first set of cards are sort of general for the United States and the world, but I'm going to tell you, February, they wanted to tell me all about things happening in the United States. I wasn't getting a worldwide thing like I was getting as far as you need to know what's happening in America in February. In January, there were some international things that came through. Things about the Ukraine, for example, victory for democracy. There's something going on worldwide that's very positive. But February is, I believe, a crisis point for the United States, to be honest. And this is what came out. These were my cards. Lies, treachery, betrayal. There will be many lies thrown out to the American people. I feel like the Hunter Biden case takes center stage, and it will be clear the duplicitous behavior of the GOP. There will be absolutely no substance to this case, and their lies and their motivations are going to become really clear to a lot of Americans, because there are some Americans who aren't like us, and they're really believing, well, there might be something to this. But there's something happening in February where more people are believing in or seeing the farce that this is. The GOP will be divided amongst itself. Within the Congress, the rubber meets the road. And I feel like this Hunter Biden thing is going to play out as a big part of that. I do believe something hidden will come out about the Speaker of the House as well in February. It has something to do with secrets, something that was covered over in some way that he was trying to hide. And it's like a turning point. So for many Americans and GOP members, it's going to be like the blindfold was just ripped off or taken off. And they are going to be forced to choose a side. And because of this, you're going to see members of the GOP breaking off. Now, is this going to be a majority? Probably not. I know MAGA has control, and I don't really get a sense that MAGA is not going to have control of that party, but there are going to be more GOP members who are towing the line. There will be more like Liz Cheney's that will say, you know what, I can't go here. And maybe that's the point where this Hunter Biden thing's a farce. I can't vote for that. That could be the first thing. But then when something, it feels like a scandal comes out about the Speaker of the House, something that's hidden, something he was trying to hide, that's going to be like, okay, this is a bridge too far for me. And you're going to see, I want to use the word, like this is, how do I want to say this? There is a lot going around from other psychics or psychic mediums about civil wars and so forth. And I almost want to use that term, but I'm not seeing it like a civil war with people and guns and fighting like our previous civil war. What I'm seeing is almost a little civil war within the GOP, where there's going to be infighting and some breaking off. And it's the rubber, where the rubber meets the road. And again, I'm getting the Hunter Biden case coming, like something coming out where everyone's like, this is ridiculous. And also something about the Speaker of the House. So those are the two catalysts that start this situation. I also know that our government needs to be funded. And although I didn't get anything financial specifically in this message, I know that that could be something that is also going to tip some members over the edge, where they have to make decisions that are right for the country and right for themselves. Then there is anger that is bubbling over this month in the United States into the streets. And this could get violent. Okay, there could be pockets of violence and eruptions that are happening across the country. It's like little pop-ups of domestic terrorist threats and strong potential of harm to others. Specifically, I do get an explosion. So I saw this explosion in my third eye, and it felt like the Plains states. I want to say either Upper Texas, Oklahoma, or Kansas, somewhere in that sort of middle section. It was very flat, prairie-like. And I did see train tracks for some reason and an explosion. So prayers, I do have a sense that these are little pop-up threats. There's a strong possibility, and maybe that's why I saw this explosion, that one might get through the barriers. I do feel that a lot will be thwarted by the government. I think people are on this. But February is one of those months where you're going to have to really be aware of what's around you. If something's not right, please act on your gut instincts, because I do feel like we are going to see in the news those little domestic terrorist threats. And I believe this will be a direct result of the things that are happening, for example, in the Congress and a few other things that I'm going to talk about. The next big issue that could be causing some of these eruptions and people going into the streets to say enough is enough is an extreme rise of the feminine. And many of these cards were pointing to an abuse of the feminine, family planning, the abortion issues, and women's rights in general. There may be a triggering event in February that ignites the fire within women and men who are more enlightened. Families have had enough. That's what I get. I get like, enough. I'm done with this. This triggering event may be around the death or imprisonment of a woman. And I do get the sense that the family, that's it. And I know we've had a couple of women in the news, and that has started the bubbling, but I don't think it's one of those women that we see in the news, unless it's that Brittany woman who they're pressing charges against and she goes to prison. It could be that scenario. I don't think it's Mrs. Cox, but I feel like and I don't want this to happen, but I kind of feel like there's a death involved with this. And it becomes like, okay, we're done. Okay, we're tired of messing around. That's why I see people in the streets. And it seems odd because winter is not usually the time for protests, but I do feel that like enough is enough. Family is the beginning of women taking to the streets, organizing, and demanding justice. February is crazy town. All right, it's going to be a crazy month. There's illusion, there's delusion. People don't know what to believe. There's so many lies all around, disinformation, and fears coming to the surface. It's a turning point when sides must be taken. I'm hearing a house divided cannot stand. This is the energy of the moment. The messages here is that the moment has come to get organized, make a plan, be conservative with money, reach out to those of like mind. And the message is you are not alone. Angels are assisting here for the greater good of all involved, for the best outcome. Dare I say it, the most benevolent outcome. All right, so I do get, like, the angels are on it. The universe is on this. Like, you're not alone. You're not fighting alone. However, I wrote, not to sugarcoat it, the die is cast. Because I also heard that as well. The die is cast. It's like there's no going back now. There's some sort of turning point here where... And I guess maybe it hasn't been decided. Either we're going to go off into dictatorship and violence and succumb to these forces, or we're not. And the energy of the moment that I felt was a fighting energy. It was like, oh, hell no, I'm done. Let's go. Okay, let's go. So that gave me a lot of hope. That was a sense for me like, we're going to be turning this around for the better before it's too late. So it's going to be a very volatile month. The next set of cards I set down was for Trump. And I'm trying to work with his reading so I can put it as an overlay on what's happening with the month as a whole. Because we know that a lot of what's going on is because of him. And this is what I got. Truth is coming out about Donald Trump, whether that is within a trial situation or a raid. There will be news of something he has been hiding, possible classified documents. And then I thought of that binder thing. So maybe this is a raid with the binder, or maybe the news of what he was doing with classified documents comes to the surface. But there's some sort of enlightenment about what he was doing. There are schemes and plans revealed. This may be one of the triggers for the domestic violence issues that I saw popping up like little firecrackers all over the country. There is also some symbol of water here with Donald Trump. And I'm just going to say what I saw. This is weird, but I see him made of water. So I saw like a Donald Trump like made of water, and he came crashing down like into a puddle. And then the water ran to like a new place and then kind of came up, and there he was again, made of water, like a new form. You know, he just kind of, okay, I'm going to crash down. I'm going to leak somewhere else. And he came up again. There's this, in essence, of being fluid here. There's something slippery and fluid around his energy. Water symbolizes emotion, and I do get that his emotions are on high, spurting his violent rhetoric to hide his fear. I get the Queen of Swords is on him in February. Women rise. This could be the abortion situation that I had just saw and just talked about, coupled with news from New York and or Georgia. I did feel a woman of color, so I don't know which one that is. Ivanka could be in play as well. Maybe this is the time we hear some sort of betrayal from her. But Lady Justice is here, and preparation for a trial is underway. That's the sense that I had gotten. I see a female judge put down her gavel, and a woman of color. And I believe one of the, isn't the January 6th judge, she may be a woman of color. You can tell me in the comments. But I do feel like it's involving a preparation for a trial or something coming down on him. Lady Justice, boom. And I definitely saw a woman of color. This is good news for the United States. I see plans thwarted and a destruction of his hope. Trump's health could also have some issues in February, along with high chances for surgery of some sort. I don't feel like this is a major surgery like, oh my goodness, he had a heart attack and he's going in for emergency heart bypass surgery or something. For me, it didn't feel like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but it felt more like a small thing, like, the ex-president went in for a surgery on such and such, but he's fine now. Like, I got that kind of a news, unless it's something big and they're trying to like cover it up. But it felt like a small surgery. But I do feel that his health is starting to deteriorate starting in February. I also get something with the IRS or taxes that will be a burden for him. So there's some sort of either ruling on his taxes, or we get news that the IRS is really on him. And I know this is strange, but I got his ex-wife, Ivana, and I got a sense that she was around him. And not in a good way, like in a haunting way, like in a I'm going to torment you way, possibly within his dreams. So I do get a sense there's something here with him picking up on her energy. I don't know if that's related to guilt or, there's something here where she's kind of tormenting him a little bit. And I did get that as well. This is adding to his stress because he can't sleep. Trump is boxed in. He is losing hope. He's depressed. The door slams shut and he has no escape. So this is the month where they're like, you're done. You're absolutely done. February is the climax of the crazy energy. Be aware of your surroundings. Prepare to hunker down if you can. Pray for the best outcome. This is going to be a volatile month, but it is also a short month. We'll get through it. And in short, I'm getting things really bad for the Donald. And he's starting to fall apart. But the volatility, I think, is coming from MAGA, because the things that are going on, the Hunter Biden thing, coming up as a complete farce, the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House having some sort of scandal. I got in January that there's some Supreme Court thing with dark money or some announcement about the Supreme Court, and that's in January. So we're having this sort of deterioration. And I feel like that energy in February is just coming to a point, and there are going to be some people who just like, oh, maybe that's the explosion. That could be like, maybe it's metaphoric, like just like I can't handle it anymore. But it is true. I mean, some people might act out in a physical way, that sort of explosive energy. And then you got that explosive women coming up and saying, no more. I do feel people are going to be taking to the streets. This is our saving grace. It's going to be volatile, but this is what saves us. It's the people rising, the people saying, you need to listen to us. We are not going to be putting up with any of these shenanigans anymore. I mean, we're done. And I think it's funny that they show me the door shut on him and he's boxed in. He's done too, right? The energies go together. So yeah, like hang on to your hats, because February is going to be rough. That is my political reading for February 2024. In my next video, we'll take a look at March. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my video. Actually, I was noticing, I think I have a little over 900 subscribers. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers and make that a goal for the next few months. So if you want to share my videos, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's make that goal. Thank you for supporting me, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.